What piece of advice do you wish someone had given you when you first started out?
Interesting. I had the best bit of advice ever. It was my last day of school. I'd spent the whole year basically making an album. I didn't go to school really much. They made the foolish error of buying a little Porter studio and a synthesizer and a drum machine in the music department. So I would go to school in the morning and I'd go, I'll just go and check what I did yesterday. I'd go in there, look at my watch, and it was 4:00 because I'd just get lost in what I was doing, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, in my sixth form year, my first year of sixth form, I basically made an album, and I was on the very last day, I was mixing it because it was my last chance to get it done. Because obviously summer holidays, I wouldn't be able to get back in. And I was sat there backstage of the school hall with the Porter studio and their cassette deck, bouncing it down to cassette with my headphones on. I turned around, there was the headmaster, and he was a big, imposing guy. He was a big guy, and big redhead bloke, Mr. Forster, his name. And I turned around and saw him, and he went, "Can I have a listen?" And he had put the headphones on, and he said, "This is pretty good, El." He said, "What are you going to do next year?" And I just said, "Well, come back and carry on with my A-levels." And he just looked at me and he said, "Why?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he went, "Eliot, look around you. These kids, they don't know what they want to do." He said, "But you know exactly what you want to do." He said, "What are you waiting for?" And I said, "Are you asking me to leave?" And he went, "Why? What are you waiting for? Get on with it. Go out."
Wow.
And you know what? I had the privilege of doing a charity gig at my old school a few years ago, which was great. I mean, it was nerve-wracking because I was like being 15 again, being on the same stage. You know? And I got back on. I found him, Gordon Forster, and invited him. And so, because I did all my hits and stuff, and with the band, and I got him up on stage, and I gave him a platinum Spice Girls album. You know, those award things. You know.
Yeah.
And I got him, and I said, "Look, had you not on this very stage, right over there, said to me, go out and get on with your life, none of these songs would have happened. Celine Dion and Spice Girls and S Club and Take That, none of them would have happened because I probably would have come back here and gotten into something else. But you pushed me to do this. This is what teachers are meant to do. But in this instance, it wasn't teach. It was get on with it." So it was like the ultimate moment for me of being able to come full circle and thank him for this amazing bit of advice. So that I had the best bit of advice.
Do you know what I really love about that story is that teachers very, very rarely do that. They very rarely, in my experience, actually look at what, how to put it, at what kids like are really passionate about.
Yeah, vocation.
My experience is always kind of going down the academic route. Like you do college and then uni and then you kind of figure out what you want to do and blah, blah, you get a job and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. What was the name of the teacher again?
His name was Gordon Forster. But you know
Forster.
what? I think it was a different time for education. I think education nowadays, they're so hampered by reaching certain numbers and achieving certain goals in terms of exam passes and stuff like that, or, you know, whatever is the official, you know, organization comes and kicks ass. So I think that they're under incredible pressure. A lot of teachers would like to be more vocational, but here's the thing: my careers chat in school, when you go and talk about what you're going to do, I went in there and the guy looked at me and he went, "Right, which pit do you want to go down, Dinnington or Maltby?"
Are you kidding?
I said, "Oh, no, I want to be a songwriter." And he looked at me and he went, "Very nice, Dinnington or Maltby." They were my options at that point. So a kid to come from a mining village, you know, with nothing. My parents had nothing. We were working class, you know. Dad was a hard-working Irishman doing whatever he could to support his family, and he certainly did. But we had nothing, you know. I had to beg, borrow, and steal synthesizers to learn how to play music. And thankfully, I had a cousin that was talented and had some equipment that taught me. And I ended up getting a T-boy job in a studio. But do you know what? A kid from Sheffield in a mining town through the 80s of all times with it was tough, man. But you know what? Hard work, head down. Thankfully, it paid off.